Good morning and welcome to my studio again. I'm back here. I'm going to give some more demonstrations on Photoshop, how to enhance your images to paint from. So I'm going to shrink this down. I'm going to get started. So we're going to go in a little bit more in depth today. We're going to move some trees. I don't get into masking in a big way because that's not something I use. If the image is that bad, I'll just choose another one. Let me get this started. I'll shrink myself down and nope, not that. Okay, here we go. All right, so we're going to start again now. I have chosen an image, and it's on my Photoshop. Now I chose this one because it has some very obvious trees. It's got some good movement and some interest. So let's start at the beginning, where we would if we wanted to paint from this. So I'm going to go right back to and just my color and see how we go from there. So I'm liking that. I'm liking the blues. Don't like the yellow. I'm going to desaturate the yellow, or lighten it, I should say. That's a little bit better, a little bit more natural looking. Now I'm going to go into the reds and see what happens. Brings up a little bit more of those orange colors, and kind of happy with that. So that's actually pretty good. Now I'm going to go into my lighting. These are all things that I do for most of my images that I do. I'm going to try levels. Let's see how that goes. We're pretty good here. I'm going to cancel levels, and I'm going to go into my brightness, and I'm just going to amp up the brightness a little bit. Just makes it a little bit clearer, a little bit nicer. Okay, so now we have this great big dark tree right in the middle. And let's say we like this big dark tree. Actually, yeah, we're going to move the big dark tree. And there's a couple different ways you can do it. First of all, you can just remove it. You can use the healing tool over here. Now, when you click a tool for doing this, you need to open your tool options choice at the bottom, and you will see brush sizes here, and there are different brush types you can do. You can see there are hard brushes and soft brushes and fuzzy brushes and feathery brushes, and you've got a whole selection here of brushes. Where the heck was I? I'll just try that one. Now what I do is I hold the marker over the tree I want to move. Now you can see there's a circle on the screen, and it's kind of the rough size of the tree. I don't want to move more than the tree. I just want to remove the tree. So I'm going to make it just a little bit bigger so that I don't end up with little bits of tree. I'm trying to remove this tree. I'm just going to take this one right out, show you how to do it. We do that. Oh, that's too big. We do that with the healing tool. Let's go to 100 picks. You can actually change your pick size here. Down, let's try that, 100, and see what happens. That's pretty good. It's kind of tight, but it's pretty good. So in order to just remove something, we're using the healing tool over here on the left. And we have chosen our brush size so it matches the image we want to remove. Then we're just going to drag over this. You can see how it leaves a dark line. And as soon as we stop, Photoshop is going to say, ooh, and it's going to make it go away. Now, it's not perfect because it's gathering information from around it in order to fill the hole. It's grabbed a tree there from somewhere. We can make that go away. It's pretty good. It's not too bad. Now, it has chopped off this little tree here. So let's say we like that little tree and we want to put that back. Actually, before I do that, I'm going to get rid of this stupid little tree. I don't like trees that are on angles. They're distracting. So I'm going to get rid of that. There we go. I like movement. I don't like that tree either. Stupid forest. Okay. One could go crazy with this. I'm going to put this little tree right here. I'm going to put this one back in. And there's a tool we can do with that. This is the cloning tool. Again, down here, the tool windows is open. We have your size and we have your opacity. Now, if you want to keep a little bit more natural looking, you could knock your opacity down a little bit, but then it might not be quite as dominant. If it's a dominant, Domino's Pizza? Dominant. If it's a dominant, I don't know. If it's a big image in the middle, you're going to want to keep it at a high opacity. So I've got my, now you can see my circle is way too big. So I need to make that smaller because I just want it to be the same size as this cute little dark tree here that looks like we chopped it off, which we did. So we're using the cloning tool. And what the cloning tool does is you choose the pixels that you want to copy somewhere else. So it's like if I have a hand here and a hand here, every time I move the hand, it's going to copy what's on this hand over here. Am I making sense? Okay, so I am going to choose this area. Now, in order to clone, I can't do it. You'll see that directions come up and tell you what you need to do to define your source point. Your source point is the spot that you want to copy. So in order to do that on Windows, I Alt-click. I think on a Mac, it's Command-click. So I'm going to do that, Alt on my keyboard and click with my mouse. And then, now what you're watching here, see how now when I'm pressing down my left button on my mouse, you'll see there's a circle and there's a plus sign under it. What you want to watch is the plus sign to make sure that you're staying on track with, oops, I need to go back down and I'll click again. And that's because it was a short little sticky thing. You want to make sure that you keep on track. And sometimes you have to do this a few times just because of what it is that you're trying to put back in. Okay, so I mean, it's not perfect, but it's there. Now I can see that there's a tree that's actually kind of sucks, but there you go. Let's say I want to do this tree. Let's do this tree over here because it's really kind of pretty. I'm going to Alt-click over here. Now I'm going to show you a better way. So when I press on here, you can see the little, I'm pointing at my screen. You can't see me pointing at my screen. You'll see the little plus sign on the tree that we're copying. So pay attention to the plus sign because if you wander off there, you're going to get an image that's all screwy looking. So you want to make sure that you're following that tree on the plus sign, and you can see how we just put it in over here. Now it's very subtle. That's because it's a subtle tree. Let's try something different. Let's try and move this tree over here. I'm making my circle a little bit bigger. There we go. A little bit bigger. That big? Okay, that's good. So I'm going to Alt-click over here. I'm going to move this tree so that you can see, because it's a nice dark tree. And I'm going to start it right down here so I can get those nice lovely leaves. Let's put it over here. So you'll see I am following the X. When I say I'm following with my eyes and my mouse. I'm not even looking at the left part because that'll make me screw up. So there you go. We have just moved that tree over here. Now we have two identical trees. Unfortunately, you can't mirror them. Well, maybe you can. That's another lesson that I need. So now what we want to do, we want to get rid of the first tree because we've moved it, and we don't want two identical trees because that's just stupid. So now I'm going to go into the Band-Aid, which is the healing tool, and I'm going to get rid of that and any associated crap that comes with it. So now we have moved this darker tree over here, and we've gotten rid of the big dark tree. Now we're actually not getting too bad a composition. I don't like this here. I'm going to just get rid of that. My brain can put that in. I'm actually reasonably intelligent, so I can put that in. Let's say that we want to move this birch tree because it's pretty close to the middle if we're using this size image. Now, some friends showed me how to do this the other day. Let's see if I can remember how. I'm going to close my tool options just so I can find stuff. Now I need to go into my magic selection tool. That's this one here on the right. And I'm going to click that. Oh, obviously I need my tool options because I need to make it bigger. So there's the magic selection tool. And then apparently I can, I'm playing around with this, I can drag this. Is it shift? Or do I just, oh, I just click. So I'm moving up and clicking as I go, and moving down as I'm clicking as it. Now it is picking up, depending on the allowance you give it for picking up side pixels, it is picking up what is underneath it. So there, now it has picked up. Now, this is the new trick they taught me. This little thing down here, which I never knew what it was because I don't know everything. Don't tell anybody, but I really don't know everything. So this little tool over here will move things and heal them. So if I then pick up this, which is the moving tool, no, wait a minute, no, this tool, stupid. Then I can pick up this tree and move it over here. Did it move it? There we go. And what it did was it moved the tree and it automatically healed the area where it was. Now, again, it's not perfect, but then you can go in with your cloning tool and you can, well, I'm going to make that a little bit bigger because sometimes if you want to grab a bunch of leaves so that they keep their interesting shape, you can just stop that. Spot healing tool automatically samples pixels. Okay. Oh, I'm on spot healing. I want to be on clone. Sorry. Shoot me now. Okay. So I'm going to go on my clone. I'm making this a little bit bigger. Okay, there we go. Oh, not that big. Holy crap. And not that small. God, it's just like Willy Wonka. It's got to be just the right, no, the three bears. Okay, Alt click these lovely yellow leaves and I'm just going to move them around so that, oops, not like that, so that I now have a nice bunch of leaves. Alt click and click. Why aren't you moving? You drive me crazy. Maybe it won't. Maybe it won't go over a sampled image. That's odd. Oh well, okay. I have a brain. I can paint yellow leaves over here and hide some of this. Let's get rid of some of this, which is left over from that tree. Yeah, it won't let me do it. I guess when it's self-healed, it doesn't want to fix what it fixed before. Silly thing. Oh, I know why. Okay, now I know why. You'll see that around my tree, I still have a selection tool. See those little ziggly lines squiggling around like little worms? I have to deselect them. That tree is still selected. So Photoshop still thinks I'm talking about that tree. So you just go up to select and deselect, and that turns that off. Okay, now we can go down here and we can copy our branches. There we go. So we can move stuff around and we can go back into the healing and get rid of this part of that white tree. And so now we've moved that tree over. Not sure what that thing is there. We can get rid of that. It's still a little naked looking over here. I may want to put something there. And you can see we have a little bit of repetitive pattern. Let's try. I'm just going to improve it again. I think I'm going to improve it. I'm going to go over here to this white tree that's in the background, and I'm going to try and fill in this space with that. Again, my eyes and my mouse are following the cross, not the thing, and it kind of sort of put it in. It's there in the background, but it's not. Anyhow, we have moved our tree. We've gotten rid of the dark tree. We've moved over a dark tree and another tree and trees and trees and trees and trees. But you can see how moving things is very handy. You know, Mother Nature is nice. Sorry, Mother Earth is nice. Mother Nature is not. She puts trees in stupid places, so we must move them as artists. So I think this is actually not a bad composition. I could knock it down into a 4-foot. Actually, let's see what happens. So the way it is right now, I'm actually going to play around with the color a bit more. This is all the stuff I do, you know, when I'm getting images ready. Ooh. Ooh. Okay, so I've really amped up that. I'm going to lighten that yellow a bit because I shouldn't be allowed to play with yellow. I shouldn't ever be allowed to play with yellow. So now I've amped up that reddy orange a little bit because it brings up the forest floor. These birch trees have a nice peach tone to them. I like everything, but geez, all I have is a square canvas. So I'm going to, first of all, I want to crop a little bit off here on the left because I don't need it. It's totally unnecessary information. I'm going to fill my whole window here. And then I'm just going to, I have my crop on no restriction. Again, down here in your tool options, there you can have no restriction or you can choose your sizes. You can also use the suggestions because believe it or not, it's not too stupid. You can do your overlay or you can remove it if you want to see how things are, but the overlay is nice because it you know, helps you with your composition. So I'm just going to knock a little bit off the left side here. Totally unnecessary stuff, don't need it, so why have it? On this side on the right, I've got this big white tree here and this funny thing there. I really don't need that, so I'm just going to bring that in a little bit. So like that, not bad, pretty good, except all I have is a square canvas. So I'm going to go up into image, resize image size, and I'm going to turn this into a square. Again, my constrain proportions has not been clicked, so I can change sizes as will. And I'm going to go into, let's see I'm going to do a 48 by 48, which is square. You can do any size square you want. Bigger is better, always. And there I've scrolled out. So there we go. Now I have a nice composition for a square painting. Got it? Get it? Good. All right. Remember, this is not going to come overnight. It takes repetition to do it, and what you will find is you will learn your taste in images, and you'll find that you're doing the same steps over and over again. And that's the only way to learn, is to get on and play with it. Remember now to save as, because if I click save, it's going to overwrite my original image. So I'm going to click File, Save As, and I'm going to put this in my square folder. In the things I like to paint, and click save. So I still have my original, but now I've got this one as well. Okay, have fun, play around. If Windows says you've done a fatal error, don't do that again. Bye.